A few things, if you have not already and you're in the Facebook group, you need to watch the pre-masterclass live. Okay, this is going on. It tells you everything you need to know for this week, how it's going to run. Some reminders, the recordings are taken down Monday morning, so you have till Sunday night. That's usually when I tell you to make sure you have it done by, unless you have upgraded to our elite package with the recording. Now, today we are going live publicly, meaning that everyone gets 1 day of access. But if you paid, which is the group I'm watching, the group that I'm answering questions in, the one I'm seeing right now, my Investing Her Way ladies who have purchased, like Siobhan, I see Doreen, I see Carrie, I see all of you commenting, don't worry. Then you will have access all 5 days. Now the recordings come down unless you've upgraded. We're going to be giving out a lot of information over the next hour to hour and a half, a lot of information every single day. I recommend just watching and coming back and watching the replay to take notes, because at the end we'll open up for a Q&A and we will only cover questions that pertain to today. We don't want to repeat ourselves just because we want to keep this as streamlined as possible. We are going to give you so much information for free or for $7. You're not even going to believe it. So we want to keep everything really streamlined, as a lot of feedback that we have gotten. Other than that, you do need to comment. For every comment, you'll get entered into our raffle for the day. So today is a free upgrade to the elite package, meaning that you will get the free recordings and everything included with the elite package. There's 3 different packages. There's the $7, I think it's $47 and $97. So you will get the $97 for free, but you have to be commenting like crazy. If you already bought that, we will refund you. So pretty amazing. But we're going to go ahead and get going. We have a lot to cover. Keep in mind there is a lag of about 15 seconds from the time that I say something to the time that I start seeing your guys' comments and you hear everything. So just keep in mind that when I go to call the raffle, you will have to comment right away, because as soon as in my time I have to comment the next person, which was runner up, then they will get that prize. So just kind of keeping that in mind. There's a little bit of a lag, and I'm just going to remind you throughout. But just comment, let us know what your takeaways are, let us know what's landing for you and all of that. And we will open up for a Q&A, so it's not that we're ignoring you. We just want to get through the information as quick as possible for you, and then we'll open up for some Q&A. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we're on day 1, and today we're talking about areas, business strategy, and all of that. So the first thing that I do want to say is a little bit about us. If you watch the pre-master class, I already kind of went in. So the only thing that I really want to share out of my story is the fact that the whole 9 years that I have done this completely virtual, which means that I'm going to be helping you all week set this business up in a virtual aspect, meaning that as we talk throughout the week, everything we teach can be done virtually. Even driving for dollars can now be done virtually. So we're going to be talking about that as well this entire week, so that you know. I have coached thousands of women to do this completely virtual. As I told you, I've closed deals from St. Lucia, was my very first international deal closed. I cruise around the world and do this. That's my preferred way of traveling. And so I'll teach you exactly how to do that this week. So that's my story. I'm going to leave it to that.
Yeah, so Liz said that she already shared a lot about us, and obviously, hopefully you checked our story and our website, the realestateinvestingwomen.com. But I've been in this business now for 4 decades. So I actually started, with rentals. I started with buy and hold. I stumbled into what they call nowadays wholesaling, which back then was called flipping a contract. I got into fix and flip, raising private money, syndication, new developments. So over 4 decades, I've done a lot of different things that a lot of you might be interested in, right? So I will share with you a lot of the experience that I have accrued over the years that spans from, like I said, wholesaling to rentals to fix and flip to private money, and a lot of little sub strategies in between. Because the great thing about this business is that as long as you're ready to reinvent yourself, you can always excel in this business. This is something that's here to stay. Real estate is a fundamental need of humanity because it has to do with shelter, it has to do with property. And as an investor, think of yourself a little differently. You are there to provide a commodity. You are there to reinvent yourself, to adjust to the times. And as long as you understand that, you're going to make money in good times. You're going to make money in bad times. You're going to make money in any type of administration or presidency. So don't let it scare you. there is always opportunities. And so here we are this week about getting into what real estate can do for you, how to live the life of your dreams using real estate as your tool. So let's get going.
Okay. So in the PDF that we put out earlier, we have we're not going to share just because I want to make sure we have data for the actual demo presentation. But we talked about choosing what strategy is best for you. So Laura, do you want to talk a little bit about the picture you put together of choosing the right strategy?
Yeah. There are basically three main strategies here when it comes to real estate. Doesn't matter if you're talking about commercial or residential, which this week we're going to focus mainly on residential. There is wholesaling, there is buy and hold, and there is fix and flip. A lot of the people that are new in this business, they say, I'm not really clear what strategy I should get into. And so we shared, like Liz said, the PDF. I'm just going to give you very, very brief here my opinion about it. I did personally prepare this PDF that we share with you. So my rationale behind is this. There are two factors that are going to really influence where you should start. Number one is your experience level. And number two is, do you have any type of funding reserves? Meaning it could be your retirement funds, 401k, IRA, equity in your house, line of credit, and so forth, right? So there are these two factors. So let's say that you come to me and say, I have no money whatsoever. I don't even have a job and I don't have any experience. So ideally, you can do anything throughout the three strategies. And I'm going to share with you how I got started with rentals without using a lot of money. I use a little bit, but not a lot of money to start. But most of the people might want to start with wholesaling. Okay. If you are in a situation where you have no job, no money, and no experience. Because if you're looking at private lenders, or unless you know somebody in your family that has the money, but if you look on the outside private lenders, most likely they want you to have one or two things, either experience or money in reserve, ideally both, but one or the other they can work with. Now, if you have some money in reserve or retirement fund, pension, whatever you need, even if you have no experience, the lenders will work with you. So yes, ideally, you can go ahead and jump into rentals. You can go ahead and get into fix and flips. Okay. So this chart is going to really show you different scenario as far as, do you have the money? You don't have the money. Do you have experience? You don't have experience. Are you looking also to get quick cash? Maybe you have the money, you have the experience, but you really don't want to tap into your retirement savings. And you say, I prefer getting money outside of what I personally have. So then, yes, you can jump into wholesaling, because I call wholesaling my ATM machine, right? So that's the thing you do. So that chart is really going to highlight a different scenario depending on where you are right now. So make sure you take a look at that.
Yep. Okay, so now we're going to move into choosing the right area, which means we're also going to screen a little bit, show how to do that. But off of what she said, what is the strategy that is going to be your beginner choice? And even if you're not new, what do you plan on focusing moving forward? Okay, so even if you're like, hey, I'm already doing deals, what do you plan on focusing moving forward? Let's see. Now let's move into choosing the
Okay,
right
you're going to
area.
wait for them to type in?
Well, there's a delay, so we're just gonna watch it and start
Okay,
talking.
sure.
Yeah.
So this is another rationale that I came up with as far as choosing the area. Everything I'm sharing with you guys is from my personal experience. Okay, so you're gonna hear a lot of things this week. Some of them I'm gonna call them golden nuggets. So, golden nugget meaning is something that probably you haven't heard before that I'm going to share with you. And this is come from my own personal experience. So this is another golden nugget I'm going to share with you now, which is about the areas. There is not enough research. There are a lot of programs out there that teach anything from wholesaling to rentals. They really get you to study the area first. The great thing about being in a country like United States is that you have a variety, right? You have variety of areas of economies and so forth. So you need to do some study first. So my thing is this: you don't have to necessarily do it in the area where you live. A lot of people say, well, maybe I should start in my own backyard. Yes, I mean, that's great, right? But some of you might not live in an area where it's possible to do in the backyard. For example, if you live in downtown San Francisco, or downtown New York City. You might have to go 30 minutes to an hour out of the city to do that. Now, when you go into another area, okay, so how do you know this is the right area? And we're going to share with you in a few minutes here how to research the area. So Liz is going to do that. But the rationale is this. I look at what the national average is doing, okay, for the time. Now, the national average, some of the reports that we use are around a couple of quarters behind, but it's good enough to give you what the trends are with the areas. And then how does it stack out to the national average?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like one of the latest national average, I don't know if I updated over the last couple of weeks, but it was 4.9%. Just sneezing here.
Bless you.
Jesus. Okay. Live. 4.9% was the national average, right? So if I look at an area and an area is below 4.9% for the national average, and I'll show you here in a minute, so don't worry yet. That means that is okay area. Now it depends how far below. If it goes -1 or 0 or 1, then there might be some red flags. Now, if it goes over the national average, well, that tells me there is a lot of demand, maybe too much demand. Maybe the owners are not willing to really negotiate, which for investors can make things a little hard, right? So that's why we do this type of research to see what the supply and demand is.
Mm-hmm.
What are people wanting to see in this area? How is the culture of the sellers in this area? So all this information is very good because it really solidifies your opinion if I should do it. The another thing I would say, if you don't choose, some of you say, you know, are braver in a way, or open to the possibilities, as I can do it this anywhere, which you can. But some of you might not be comfortable going outside the immediate area that you know. So I always suggest go to an area that maybe either you grew up with at some point, or you went to school there, or you have family and friends there that can be your boots on the ground. That might make things a little easier. But that's not to say that you cannot go to an area completely foreign to you. You just have to find boots on the ground that we're going to explain to you later during this week. So, you know, don't get ahead of yourself here. Every day, one of the great things about this master classes is every day we break it up in little small steps so that you can move forward. So what I suggest you do this week is that you really follow the steps that we give you. Don't get ahead of yourself. You know, I know a lot of you say, okay, how do I get to leads? How do I do this? How do I do that? Don't worry, we're going to get to all of it. But today, let's focus on two things. Number one is choose a strategy, commit. Commit for the next 6 months. What strategy are you really going to focus on? There is a lot of power that goes into focusing on one thing, okay? So let's choose a strategy. And the second thing is, which area you're going to do this? Because, you know, things are going to be different in different areas. So that's the research you will have to do it today.
Okay, so now we're going to show you how to do this research. Again, just watch. You could come back and do it your own, but I don't want you to miss anything important, okay? So there will be the recording of this for you to go back. So I'll try and go slow, but I'm going to kind of show you what to do. So this is the NAR real estate website that Laura was talking about. It's called NAR.realtor. That's it. No .com or anything. NAR.realtor. It's up here. Now, you do not have to have, because I know this is asked a lot, a subscription to use what I'm doing. As you can see, I'm not signed in. So you all have access on your browser desktop. It may look a little different, but I'm going to go through the steps of what you're going to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to research and statistics, and you're going to click state and metro. While I'm doing this, please give me a metropolitan city and state together. First one in, we'll show you how to do it. Okay. So you're going to click state and metro area. Then we're going to do, once I see the comments come in, I have it open on my phone, is we're going to pick a state. So what you're going to do after that is you're going to click metropolitan statistical area MS data. Okay. When you do that, you're going to scroll all the way down. Oh, this isn't. All right. Atlanta, Georgia. Local market rates. Okay. And click that. Maybe. Oh, that's not good. Let's see. Internet's acting up. Trying to pull it up.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on.
Try that again. Yeah.
Okay, it's loading, but slow. Let me see.
Try to look at the reports.
It's loading. Let me
Okay.
see. All right, hold on. I see Atlanta, Georgia. That's the one I'm going to pick. So once it loads, why is it being like this? It was doing so good. Refresh. See if it helps.
Yes, I'm doing in there.
Let's see.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, now what will happen is you'll come down and we're going to pick this one. Scroll down, local market reports. Hang in there if we lag a little bit. Sometimes the internet like resets. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way down to the state that we're using. So we have chosen Georgia based on the first response and then Atlanta area. Now when you pull the Atlanta area, it's going to automatically download this PDF for you, okay? So when it automatically downloads the PDF, I just want to check that you guys are following me. Okay. It's all right. I restarted it. I see that we're issues. Now we're going to come down here. Now you're gonna have a few things. I'm gonna zoom in and we're gonna focus on a couple of numbers here.
Okay, so Elizabeth shared zoomed in, right?
Yeah.
You see where it says here, 1 year, 4 quarter, the second line. So they're giving update the second quarter. So like I said, they ran a couple quarters behind. So the national average was 4.9%. Now you see that it's 3.0%. That's very good. That to me means that the national average is below the national average, but not so much that there would be a concern, right? I've seen some area of the country right now where it's -1, -2, under zero, right? That would be a concern because that means that things are not really moving. Things are not really appreciated. Now, if it was over the national average, let's say 6% or 7, that's also a concern because means that locally people expect to get more than what the property is worth. Okay, so the 3.0% is very healthy, meaning, yes, it's moving slowly. It's not quite the national average. That means there are more opportunities, more properties on inventory, and the culture there is people that don't expect anything. Now, the other thing is, Elizabeth, scroll down where it says FHA loan limit. Okay, the other thing is I look at the FHA loan limit, right? 649,750 for the Atlanta area. And the conforming loan limit is 766. What does that mean? If you're doing a fix and flip, personally, since the economy changing with inflation, the interest rates, and so forth, I will stay within those areas. So if I do a fix and flip after repair value, I would like it to be probably no more than 760, 66, right? Ideally 649, because FHA is a government-backed loan. That means that things will always move, will always sell, no matter what happens out there in the economy. Now, right now, the interest rates are going to go down a little bit, but still going to kind of stay pretty high here for longer. So as a flipper, I will probably stay 700,000 or below for Atlanta. Now, each area is going to be different around the country. That's why you have to look at the research. Now, the next few pages in the NAR, that's more if you're looking at rentals, fix and flip. So we're not going to dive a lot into that because of the time's sake, but there is a lot of good data that you can get. And this data from the National Association of Realtors is very well founded. It goes based on what is happening. So something that I really pay attention to is nobody's opinion because numbers don't lie.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want you to give me a zip code, and I'm going to show you another way of confirming the area for your area off of Zillow. So if you want to hand me a zip code, first one in, they're loving it though. I'm watching the comments. I'm just praying my internet holds up.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys working with us here. Let's see. We tried to stop where there was 5G. All right, let's see. Okay, 30012. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go to Zillow. What?
Must be
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah.
You're going to go to Zillow.com, and we're going to put in the zip code 30012. Okay? And we're just going to click that real quick. Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah,
Okay.
Georgia. And then once it loads, let me get off the thing. Let's see.
Now, obviously, if you do, for example, Atlanta, you're gonna do this for Atlanta. But we're just showing you for two different areas, really. But really, you want to, because Zillow is going to confirm some of the things you look in the Atlanta area. And now specifically, if you're looking in a large metropolitan area, you want to choose the stuff that, within this metropolitan area, which areas, right? Because Atlanta is big. So are you going toward North Atlanta, South Atlanta, West Atlanta? So that's what Zillow is going to give you a little more. But we will show you here in a second what we're looking for. I'm looking for, the first thing I want to look for is property that actually sold over the last 90 days. So
Yeah,
if
once
you
it
can put,
once it loads, it's
yeah,
not loading.
if you can put instead of
I
for
know.
sale
Hold on,
sold.
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna talk it out to them too so they know. So I'm gonna reset all the filters, and we're going to go to sold. Okay. And then we're going to go to single family and multifamily because we're residential. Residential is 0 to 4, like up to 4 units. 5 and above is commercially zoned. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here under the more option, and you're going to go down to sold in the last, and we're going to pick 6 months,
No, 90
90
days.
days. Okay. And we're going to press apply. Now, what we're going to do is I'm probably going to go more to the busier section. That's kind of where you want to focus. Okay, for that zip code. And Laura, I'll let you kind of explain here.
I'm looking for, okay, so kind of what I'm looking for is what they call the bread and butter. Okay. So I'm looking for the average home that, probably 650, well, 6 was a 10, but whatever you feel like the average is, like Liz says, and go towards the busier part of that zip code, which in this area is this. And then you randomly want to pick, I would pick some of the lower price and see what we got, because a lot of time, you see, like this one here is a bread and butter home, right? It's nothing fancy, is probably an older home. And let's see if there is a price history there. So it was listed for sale for September 8th, and it sold 2 months later for 264. So that's good, right? Sold for below what it was listed. So let's look at another one. That one was listed for sale
250.
250, and it sold for 200. Okay, so that's good. And you want to do this maybe 12 to 15 properties just to kind of give a feeling, and trying to look for property that maybe are older, need a little bit of work, because ideally you want to look for stuff that were built, 80s or prior to.
So this 40 through quite a few things and sold for 175. So overall, I like this area.
Yeah.
This is a really, really good area. So what you're going to do is you're going to apply it to your own. Now, what if they're seeing above?
If you're seeing about, if it is 1 or 2, that's fine. But if you see a trend where everything is about, for example, last year, Tampa, Florida, everything was way above asking price, then I would stay away from that area. Same thing with Miami, right? Now things are moving, are changing. Tampa, Florida, unfortunately got hit by a lot of the hurricane and weather. So things are a little struggling over there. Miami also adjusted in price. So yes, but then again, when you look at the bigger metropolitan area, you want to take sections, because something that goes on in one area might not necessarily go into across town. So, this type of research is going to help you to see which area you better do.
The other thing I want to say is Zillow may not be always updated. This is just for you to see what's going on in that area. You're just trying to look a day on the market. Is it selling at or below? Things like that. So that's something that's also really important. It's just for you to understand the numbers. The best numbers you can get are from the nar.realtor. Those are real, like, up-to-date numbers. This is more of just a second way of finding out areas to work for you.
Also, areas that you guys might not be the bigger metropolitan area, like the spirit place in Georgia that she sent us the zip code. is probably not Atlanta,
Yeah.
right? So then you don't have the NAR is not really going to give you any data. So you might have to just rely on what Zillow is showing you.
For my ladies in my 5-day masterclass, we are also recording this on Zoom. I will make sure my team puts the replay up of it fully not messing up because I think Zoom is going to be different. So if we broke out at any time, we are also recording this on Zoom for you guys, and we'll make sure that you get the recording if anything happens. Okay? Okay, you're welcome. I'm glad this helped. So moving into that, then what we're going to do now is we are going to give you homework. So your homework is to figure out your strategy and your area. And my ladies that are in the class, you need to come back into the group, create your own post, and you are going to go in and you're going to tell us what's your strategy to focus on and what is where's your area. Now if you don't want to put zip codes, that's okay. I'd rather you just put I'm going to do Atlanta, Georgia, or I'm going to do Georgia if you want. This is accountability. I want to make sure that you are taken care of. I want to make sure that you're doing the work and all of that. So they like the from the car setting. And so that you can be able to say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm sticking to this, I'm committing. Remember from the pre-masterclass, I'm committing. So, but it also shows you that from the car setting that even though there's going to be glitches and things that happen, you can work from anywhere. I've worked on cruise ships where the internet was horrible. I had to connect to Wi-Fi to close my first international deal on St. Lucia Beach. I was walking the black sands, pacing because the buyer was trying to back out, and things like that. So it's really,
We work from the bridges in Venice.
Yeah, we have pictures of us working from the bridges of Venice, hosting a student call because we were the coaches for that call and we didn't want to turn it off and cancel the call just because we were out. We believe in that you can work from anywhere. And so we run our business from anywhere. So we've hosted student calls, we've done real estate, we've done it all from anywhere in the world, and we're showing you how to do it too. Now you will have glitches, you will have issues, you will have things that come up that are out of your control, but all you can do is show up and keep trying regardless. So we prepare for all. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Q&A and then I'll call raffle, but team, don't pull them yet. So what's going to happen now is we're going to do a Q&A. So what I want for you is it has to keep up with today. It has to be only about today's topic. And we're going to do one question per person. And if we have more time, then we'll come back and do some more. Okay. So homework, go in your Facebook group, this Facebook group, the one you're commenting on, Isabel, the Investing Her Way 5-day class. And you can go in there and you're just going to comment your strategy of choice to start with, as well as which area you're investing in. Okay. Now we will get into wholesaling tomorrow. We're going to talk all things wholesaling, from how to do the transaction to analyzing deals to building this virtual, all of that, seller leads, buyer leads, we're covering it all. Wednesday is rentals. So long-term, short-term, we're talking it all, rentals and how to get creative with it. Now Thursday is fix and flip and solely creative financing as well. So you're going to have a lot of that. And then Friday is building the system, putting this all virtually, like tying it all together. And then we'll do a massive Q&A and of course all the raffles and all of that. All right, going into questions. Doreen's asking, please explain the percentage average you look for in an area. Didn't you already do that though?
What do you mean percentage? Well, it depends on what do you mean percentage average?
I don't know. That's her and there's a delay.
Okay. So if you mean that, it depends on what the national average is, so it's not like a set percentage. So like
it changes.
Yeah,
too.
like last year, let's say the national average was 15% at one point. So there were areas that were 12%, 11%. That's good. There were areas that were 30%, like Tampa or Miami. I would stay away from those areas. That means to me that there is a lot of competition, is above the national average. People are getting more than what a house is, they're asking for, and it's like a bidding war. So that's what I mean by percentages. So it varies.
Yeah, it does change. Love to see the excitement. Is there a way to find out which area is the crime area so we can stay away from that? That's good, especially if you're doing like rentals and flips.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the reports that I showed, the subsequent pages, if you go in the nar.realtor, they show you some of that. Also, you can go, there are police report for different areas. You can Google crime for different areas, but also the NAR.realtor shows you a lot into those pages.
Let me see. Is the NAR Realtor, what was the first thing you clicked on? Sure. So you'll get the NAR Realtor, then you click on research and statistics was the first thing I clicked on after that. When you say national average, national, what exactly? Did you answer that?
Well, it's the national depreciation, right?
There you go.
So that's the appreciation. So it's 4.9%. That means the appreciation in that quarter. So for the Q2, which is the second quarter of 2024, the national average appreciation was 4.9%. So how does it stack with the other area? Is it 3%? Is it 10%? Or is it minus, zero, -1? So 4.9 is the appreciation for that quarter for that area.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen in the height of everything, it was what, 16.9 or something?
Oh, that was at one point, I think it was Tampa was 33%,
Yeah,
where the national average appreciation was 15%, which was really, really,
15.2.
yeah,
Yeah.
really, really high. But Tampa was off the charts. That means that though everybody's expecting to get more than what their property is worth.
Okay, areas where the houses are selling under asking is good for buying, but is it good for selling?
Yeah, it's the other thing you want to look is days on the market. Now remember, we were looking a lot at what I call the bread and butter home, the older home. If you go into looking at the newer home or the low days on the market, they will tell you. So yes, it's good. I mean, to me, anything that sells within 60 days on the market is good.
Yeah.
And like Liz says, you can pull also if you have access to the MLS or if you have access to PropStream or one of those tools there is a lot of more research and data that they can give you, right? This is just something we wanted to show you that is free for everybody, but still can give you a very good idea. But yes, but that's why I say you want to stay within a reason from the national average. So like with Atlanta, 4.9% national average, and it was 3%, that's good.
Yeah,
If
good.
it would have been 0 or 1 or minus, that means things are really not moving. The supply and demand is really stagnant. So I will stay away from those areas, even if you're doing rehabs in those areas.
Are there any other sites besides Zillow that can be looked at? Yes, NAR.realtor is the #1 site you want to look at.
Yeah, I mean, and then PropStream, like I said,
Yeah,
or
if you have
someone,
PropStream.
yeah, that's another site that we like to use.
Yep. Where's the PDF? It's under the files, and it will be posted the morning of around 7 a.m. Eastern time every single day. Okay. Awesome. Okay, team, go ahead and pull raffle. So what I want to know now is what'd you think for day one? We're not done though. We're not even close. So don't start getting off or anything. What did you think? For the people that are watching publicly, we opened it to the public for today only. If you are interested in getting access for $7 for the rest of the week, all you have to do is click the link that my team's putting in. I'm answering questions only in the group because they have paid, so I feel like that's more fair to them. But I would like to know your #1 takeaway from today that you are going to focus on and try and remember, and also make as well. Did you say NAR.realtor? It's not realtor.com. NAR.realtor. Good focus. Wait to start. This is the most interesting overview I've ever heard. Okay, cool. Yes, we believe in data. We believe in numbers. We don't believe in he said, she said, right? So, for example, I had a student once that said, well, the agent's telling me that this and that, and it's slow, and I really shouldn't be trying to invest here. And I said, well, what did the numbers say? Because that's what matters. And she found that the numbers were great. I said, then don't listen to that agent. The other recommendation I will give is don't listen to agents who aren't investing or agents in general. They run things very, very different. You are an investor. Why would you listen to an agent who does not do what you do? So listen to the people who are investing, who do what you do and are willing to help you, not the ones that are saying, oh, it's too competitive. You really shouldn't be getting in. Those are people that do not believe in collaboration. They believe more in competition and scarcity. So you want to focus on people who are there to benefit you. If it doesn't feel good to hear it, it's probably not the best thing, or the best person to be listening to. Because people who believe in collaboration are going to help you. They are going to, like us, who are going to want you to do better, that are going to want you to grow and get into this as well. So it's really important that we say that. Okay, so let me see if my team pulled raffle yet. Okay, now get ready. I love all the comments. I'm reading them. I promise. Okay. Um, let's go. You have to be on. You have to comment. I'm pretty sure you're on. I've been seeing you comment, but you still have to be on. You get the upgraded ticket to the VIP. I hope you have your typing fingers ready. I'm a little longer because I feel like the delay is a little longer, maybe because of internet. So I'm going to give about 45 seconds. Okay. All you have to do is email. She just commented. So all you have to do is email in, and I know you're on, so I'm not going to go to the next, to questions@realestateinvestingwomen.com, and my team will take care of you next week after the masterclass. Benita Mitchell, you are the winner. She commented before I even said anything. So Benita Mitchell, you are the winner. Congratulations. I'm super excited. Don't worry, you have plenty of time the whole week to win. And even if you won once, you can win again and again. We had one lady, I think she won, her name was Jamie. Remember, she won like three
Yeah.
in 1 week because we just, it's interaction. Also keep in mind that we also, the top 3 commenters of the week on people's posts, commenting, interacting, things like that, to get top 3 interaction. You don't have to be live to claim that one. All right, congratulations. Okay, I think I saw a comment. I'm just hoping we didn't lose it in the meantime. So we want our chosen area to be above national average. No, you want it below. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but no way below.
No,
I mean,
like a couple of percentages max,
yeah,
like 2.
2-3% max. But right now, because the percentages are in the single digit, I would say 2. If when we had the last year, it was 15% national average, 7 to 12%, 3 or 4. But if you start going way above, and that's why you want to check on Zillow as well to see, okay, when they were listed at this price, sold at this price. If I see the things are listed and they were sold all for at or above, that would be a red flag too. It means that it's going to be hard for you as an investor to break in because everybody is expecting to get more for their property. That's what it's worth.
Now, one thing I want to say as we go into this week is the one thing I love about real estate, like the number one thing, is that you can make this your own. You can make this fun. You can make it around your personality, around your lifestyle. Like I knew in the very beginning, I wanted to do this completely virtual. I wanted to be there for my son. He's in the back seat now, trying to stay out of the way. I wanted to be able to travel him. I wanted to do things with him, and I want to live that kind of life. So the thing with real estate is you can build this around your lifestyle. You can live this life to your personality and everything. Make it fun, make it exciting, make it something you want to do. If you love to learn, even if you're not a people person, believe it or not, I'm highly introverted. She was dragging me all over the ship this weekend because she knows that I'll feel better once I've done it. But most of the time I kept trying to go back to the room. And she was like, no, she's like, let's go do stuff. And I'm like, I just want to sit on the balcony and enjoy the view. I did get it for a little bit, but the type of personality you are, even with real estate, you can do this. And a lot of people don't believe that I'm introverted. I said, you should see once I'm off and I'm home and all of that. I'm a huge homebody, but that's one of the reasons I did virtual. Now, do I love people? Do I love interacting with them? Sure. But even if you don't like people, that's okay. You can still make this business work for you. You have to find the way that it works. And that's something that's really, really important when you get in here, because if you're constant, every once in a while, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. But if you're constantly doing something you hate, what do you think's going to happen? What kind of energy are you putting into your business? Nothing good. Anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, and we're going to talk a lot this week about lead generation in ways that it's not working anymore the way it used to be. Definitely don't knock on doors. Cold call is not really working. There are a lot of rules and regulations against those now. So what does it work out there? So you really want to be here when we talk about that, because we're shifting, the whole world is shifting more to what they call pull marketing. Pull marketing is when the leads come to you. Okay. So we're going to talk something very interesting. So for a lot of you that are now interested in calling on the phone, talking, or, is actually moving towards more that you guys can be comfortable doing it. So pull marketing is going to be the way to go in the future with AI and everything, more than push marketing, which is the old way of doing things, direct calling or direct marketing, like letters, calling, texting. That's not really working the way they used to anymore.
Now, the other thing I want to talk about too is time management. You have about 2 hours every day. I want you to dedicate from 10 to 12 Eastern every day this week to being on this class. what you're going to see is the amount of things you can get done. If you can stick to the 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours a day, you will move really, really far. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how you utilize it. It's the excuses you're telling yourself to not getting things done, right? So let's say this week you're going to commit. Well, what if something comes up? Then you have to commit to coming back. You have to commit to watching the replay, things like that. What if I can't make it live? Oh, I failed. I didn't make it, or I couldn't put my full effort. Ladies, it's the holidays, okay? Just stick to it as much as you can. We talked about it last week on the public monthly call of how dedicating an hour to two every day is how people get set apart from the people who are taking a break because it's the holidays. This isn't a hobby. This is a business, but this is a business that can make you a lot of money, but you have to dedicate some time. In the beginning, you're going to work a lot on this business. It's a business, it's building. You're going to be overwhelmed. It's new stuff. And I say this not to scare you, I say it to prepare you so that when you get in and you're like, I feel overwhelmed, this is not meant for you. Or for me, everyone is overwhelmed in the beginning. Everyone is like, oh my gosh, they're putting out so much information. I'm not retaining it. How am I going to move forward? Normal, normal feeling. Honestly, if you're not overwhelmed, I'm going to be worried because that means maybe you're not listening, maybe you're not actively trying. I tell my students all the time, you want to know how I know when you guys are doing deals or not? When you're doing deals, my comments, my questions on all my calls, they're getting blown up with so many questions. But if they're not, it's crickets, right? And so it's what you do. Now, a lot of people, if you heard me say this before, they're stepping away because of the holidays. This is your time to get in. This is the least competitive time for that because the real investors, the active investors, they're going to push forward through this because this is the busiest time and they get more because there's less competition of people that are distracted, right? So I want you to understand that it's really, really crucial that you keep your foot on the pedal today and this week and then next week and throughout the month, because by the beginning of 2025, things can start really shifting faster. We've seen people in the masterclass put deals under contract just because they're showing up. Oh, that's cute. From the first day, I've learned so much from you when I spent a lot of money in another program and I learned nothing. This is actually really common. It's really, really frustrating. This is why we make it free to $7, because there are people out there who, and we've had confirmation from inside sources, we're not going to give out names, that people are not actively investing who are coaching. And you'll know because they don't stay up to date. They don't do live Q&As where they don't get the questions ahead of time. Why? Because they have to study it up and figure it out before, where we're live, tech and all, doing that. And it's not to bash other people because I really do admire what some of them have built. But you have to be really, really careful that you learn from active investors. Myself, Laura, all of the coaches on our team, they were not coaches. We made them coaches because they had something to offer as investors. Okay. Now I will talk about how to do systems and CRMs and all that on Friday. Please understand that today was just about this subject, but if you go back to the landing page, you can look at what we're covering each day. Yes, my coach is old school, cannot answer my questions. Yep. This happens. They're also teaching things that don't work or not safe. So we will teach you the opposite in a lot of ways. I've had a lot of people come and say that we were taught one way and we're like, that's so wrong and so dangerous. I also see how people spend a lot of money and get nothing and all of that. So we're going to be really honest. Even if we say this isn't for you, we have told people that right now, we don't think this is for you. But we have ladies, active students who work 80-hour weeks, have kids, have things, and they have put the time aside to do this. You want to talk about her? We won't give names, but do you want to talk about her?
Yeah.
You know who I'm referring
Yeah,
to.
yeah. And it's a matter of how bad you want this, right? Do you want, this is a business. You have to work as a business. It's not a hobby. Granted, to me is hobby slash business, been in it for so long. And it's something that sometimes I have to remove myself, like go away for a weekend because I'm so much into it.
Yeah.
But you have to set. So I want to can we shift into a little bit of time management organization
Yeah,
right now?
kind of starting
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So one of the popular questions I get is that how many hours a day should I devote to really get this off the ground? Okay. So ideally, I would like you to have at least 2 hours a day. You know, you can have as many as you want, 5, 6, if you don't do anything else. But a lot of you, I know, have our commitments, have work, have kids, has everything else. As women, we tend to take on so much, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the other things I hear a lot is that, you know, everybody's pulling me from in different direction. I have family that needs my help. I have friends. I have this and that. You have to tell everybody that this is your time. Okay, this is something that you want to do for yourself. If you're interested in real estate, there is a reason. Okay, there is a reason that you're interested in this. And you can't ignore that. You can't ignore that, right? So the first thing I have somebody do is I want you to sit down and map out your day from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. So, like for example, I get up 6 a.m., right? From 6 to 8, I work on my mindset, I meditate, I journal, I read something. From 8:30, I have breakfast. From 8:30 to 9, I get ready for the day. From 9 till 12, I work on my coaching business. 12 to 1, I do have lunch, take a break. Then from 1 to 3, I work on my coaching business. From 3 to 5, I work in my real estate business. And so, and then from 5 to 7, I go out and walk and take the dog, whatever. So you map your day from 6 a.m. till 11. Okay. Then within this time frame, so you know, you have, for example, where you have your job, but you know, there is maybe an hour to 2 hours of commute to work. Or maybe you can get up an hour earlier in the morning or evening, you know, you just don't have to sit by Netflix, you know, you can,
Or I was talking to a student, Pacific time zone, work in Eastern time zone. You
right.
can get up earlier. You can start making calls around 10 or 11 Eastern time, which is 7 a.m. time on your way to work.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, you look at your day, and then what I want you to do is how many hours can you carve within this day? So let's say you can carve 2 hours, so 3 hours. So then within these 2, 3 hours, you make another list of what I call you. I want you to focus on 2 to 3 tasks a day. And then within these 2, 3 tasks, it's going to be focused on only one thing. So for example, when we're going to talk about here this week about lead generations, we're going to talk about different lead generations. So you choose one. And then all your 3 tasks every day for the next 2 weeks should be around this type of lead generation. So we're going to cover several of them, and I'm probably going to use one as an example to show you how you can do it. This way you go deep and narrow. And this is how you're going to get results the fastest. And honestly, the ladies that we have that have only 2 hours a day or less are the ones that sometimes have more success most of the time.
Because they're hyper focused.
Because they're hyper focused. They have to do the things that move the needle. They don't have time to waste. They cannot dilly-dally, you know, for hours on the computer. They just have it. And those are the ones that move things the fastest. Yeah. So time management is about really time blocking your day. And then within the time blocking, carve yourself 2, 3 hours for real estate. And those during 2, 3 hours, do the 3 tasks that matter to move the needle the fastest. And we're going to talk more throughout the week. Okay.
Well, and something I want to say on that too is during your time management and your time blocking, you have to find your productive periods. Laura and I, unfortunately, are complete opposite on productive periods. I'm like a 6 a.m. to 11 is when my brain is at its highest working capacity. By 2 p.m., I'm pretty much dwindled and useless, where she just gets going at like mentally wise, like where she can do her highest work is in the evenings from like 3 to 11. I've gotten messages sometimes 1 a.m. where she's thinking about stuff. So you have to also find when are you most productive. That's when you need to put the work. The other thing is that's when you also want to put the work you're going to usually talk yourself out of during your non-productive hours, meaning that procrastination really is just fear. Procrastination when it comes to this business, it's really just a cover up for fear. If you're not doing something, if you're putting it off, there's an underlying reason to why you're doing that in this business. It's a 99.999% of the time, it's fear-based. It's you're scared to move forward. So when you put those items at the top of your to-do list during your most productive time, your brain is more likely to do it than for me at like, if I were to put it at like 5 p.m., my brain would be like, that's cute. We'll do it tomorrow. Or they'll put it off, or, let's focus on this instead. The other thing is having that highly focused time, you have to remove distractions. So I will tell my ladies, like, I understand you have kids and stuff. You have to figure out a way where during that time you can be fully focused with your to-do list. And later, when I'm not worried about my data running out, I will do a session for you guys on time management, because when I started and when Laura started, we were working full time with small children and had to start real estate more on the side until it overtook our normal business and we were able to focus on it, quote unquote, full time. What you'll find in real estate, though, is the more money you make, the less you're going to work. And I'm going to show you how to do that this week, is how to really start working less. This was the first time in years I've completely unplugged, where I did not worry about my Slack, my team. And this is the busiest time of the year for us. But how? It's because I delegated. I just had to trust my team. Got it. While I stepped aside for the first time. Now, I take vacations all the time, but I genuinely love to work. So she yelled at me one vacation because the internet, remember in Alaska, the internet was horrible and I was trying to work, and she's like, leave, go do something. But I still checked in because I've never completely unplugged, because I choose to do so. And what you'll find is you will start loving what you're doing. Like, I love driving around looking at homes. I'm totally the person, and I don't care, this is weird, but I'm totally the person that if your windows are open and it's nighttime, I'm looking at how you decorate your house. Like, what does it look like in there? Like, you drive by these big windows. If you're on a boat in the canal, we live in Fort Lauderdale, they leave these big windows and stuff. They know what you're doing. They know what they're doing. So understanding that is really, really important. I have to love what you do. I'll look at homes and be like, that's a good idea. When I stay in hotels, HGTV is on now. HGTV makes it look way easier than it is, but it's a really good thing to love what you do.
Yeah. And the thing is, the fact that you think that real estate is your ticket to live the life that you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a big believer that, yes, there is law of attraction and everything else, but you got to do some action.
Mm-hmm.
So, you set your goals. So that's another thing you should do this week. And this is a great thing we do at this time of the year, is like set my
Oh, we're
goals.
doing it next week during the month, or tomorrow.
You're doing tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm opening, I love that people admit they're nosy too. So at least it's not just me. But tomorrow at 11 a.m. we are hopping off here, and I'm giving all of you that are in the masterclass a guest pass to one of our student calls of the week. And we're going to be talking, you're joining at the perfect time, because the next few weeks it doesn't work for me to do this, even though I like to do it more the end of the year. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, and I talked about this on the pre-masterclass, I'm going to show you how to calculate what you did at the end of, or what you did for 2024, and how to set yourself up for success going into 2025. And I'm going to give this really long PDF where we'll go through most of it and then you'll finish it on your own. That's going to ask how to do this. This is going to be actually planning, because vision boards are great, but if there's no action, you're never going to get to that vision, right? So this is actually going to show you and break it down how to do that. How are you going to get to actually manifesting your vision board?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading something yesterday. It was Ralph Emerson. Some of you have heard, and he was saying something about the fact that we as being, we're an extension of our spiritual being, right? And we come in on the surface, real beings. So the fact that we have some needs, some wants, some, whatever you want, is because we are an extension of our spiritual being. So you as a person, the dreams that you want, the goals that you want for yourself or other people, the fact that you think that real estate is the tool that's going to give you to these, is an extension of your spiritual being, of your soul.
That's true.
And so if you don't pursue that, you are always going to be something missing in your life. You're always going to feel like you're not really fulfilling your mission on this earth. And like I said, I don't look at, yeah, of course, real estate give you money and you can take amazing vacations and stuff like that. But that's kind of a side benefit. But what is the core? Why do you want to do this, right? So I really want you to sit down this week and figure out, why do you want to do that? And there goes what they call 7 questions deep. I read that in some other book with Dean Graziosi that says Millionaire Mindset. And he said, go 7 questions deep. Even Dean Graziosi said by the time he got into question 5, he was crying. He was just pouring crying, because in the beginning you might say, okay, I wanted this because I want to leave a legacy for my children, or I want to help my community in the church. But why?
Well, and that's something that's important. If your why does not make you emotional, it's not strong enough. And that's what I said last week.
Right.
It has to be strong enough to where you feel it's really important that I do this. It has to be more than I want to take care of my kids. Okay, but why do you want to take care of your kids? What is it going to do for your kids that's also going to feed you, right?
Right. And so that's the thing, you get to get deep, and it's like, okay, why you want to take care of kids, because maybe you want them to have a different childhood than what you had, or different opportunities, or being able to go to college when I couldn't go
Mhm.
to college, whatever the reason might be. But that's why you have to get 7 layers deep of why,
Mhm.
and like Liz says, if you don't get emotional about it, your why is long enough. And I hate to see the ladies crying, but then when they cry and they tell me, then I know we got, and I know nothing is going to stop them from doing what they need to
Mhm.
do. But like I said, it's like Ralph Emerson said, it's like you're an extension on the surf of a bigger spiritual being, of a soul, and just your
I think
spiritual
the internet is
part
crazy.
is the one that's going
Mhm.
to lead you to certain goals and accomplishment. And if you don't accomplish them, someday when you're on your deathbed, you'll feel like you don't have a life well lived.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're here today.
And depression comes from living a life of non-alignment. You're not in alignment with yourself. And as someone who suffers from depression, I haven't had a bout in a while, but it's because I live fully aligned where before I wasn't. So my depression would hit because of it. And I'm very open about the fact that I have suffered from depression, panic attacks, and anxiety. It's because you're not living a life that's truly aligned to you, and people don't realize that. And say whatever you want to say. You don't have to say alignment if it's too woohoo for you. But if you're not living a life that truly feels true to you, that understands who you are, that's why this business is amazing, then what's going to happen is that you're going to hit depression, you're going to feel unfulfilled, and at the end of your time here on earth, you're going to wish you did more and worried less about everything else, worried less about what sellers are thinking of you, what buyers are thinking of you, what people are thinking of you, and all of that. So I really want to end it with this, is just really understanding who you are and why do you want this, and make it about you. Don't worry about what your friends will say, your family will say, your neighbor will say, what people will say next to you. It doesn't matter, because they don't have to go to bed at night wondering if they live their life to the fullest. You do, right? And you want to live that life. You want to make sure you feel really good about yourself.
Yeah, don't worry about asking permission to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ask only a permission to yourself. You're only competing with yourself in being a better version of yourself. So it's your dream, it's your goals.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your friend, it's not your spouse, it's not anybody else. It's your dream and your goal, and you want to protect that.
And I've seen women who say they have it all and then come to our mindset sessions and are in tears because while they have everything great, while they already have somebody that's living this great life, like they're living it, it's not a great life for them. Like it's great and they should be grateful. And I even remember saying that a few years ago, I have this great life. I should be feeling good, but I wasn't doing the things. Look, I'm giving mental health advice here. Again, disclaimer, not a mental health professional, please talk to somebody. But
Yeah.
I wasn't doing the thing. So I was working. I wasn't living. So if anyone followed me all the way back through to 2023, it all of a sudden looked like I went from like, oh, my posts and yeah, life was great and I traveled here and there. But I realized when I was happiest was when I was traveling, when I was doing things, when I was experiencing cultures. So in 2023, I went from traveling like twice a year to I was gone. I think I was gone more than I was home. I paid over $10,000 in kennel fees and stuff for my dogs, but I went and lived and I was on fire and my business blew up and I was happy. And if you look at my pictures, living. And so what happened was is I got myself out of it. I thought I was like this heavily introverted person, but really it was I just didn't like where I was. And when I started booming and I started meeting people and I got out there, I really, really lived a life that mattered. And so I'm like reading all your comments, and that's something for you that I want you to think about is what really will make you happy. And that's what this week is going to be about is I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out how to make money, because then when I make money, I know what I can do with my life. And then you can start living, but you could start doing things today that are more in alignment with who you are. You don't have to wait till you're making a ton of money. You don't have to wait till your real estate business is completely grown. You have to start figuring out. That's one thing I wish I would have done as soon as I started at 25 was I built this business to go around my lifestyle, and it became my lifestyle was around this business, and it was all I was doing. And when I flipped it, 2023 is when my life really began, and I started living and really enjoying what I was working so hard to build anyway. I mean, she's gone all the time. She can't say anything. I
Hey,
mean,
not this year.
yeah, you actually took a big pause. Well, your husband had health issues.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And I
we,
moved.
yeah, but
Yeah.
we did, and we went out this weekend knowing all the stuff we had going on, because that's the point of this. I will do this with glitchy internet anywhere, any day of the week, than sitting at home waiting, which I love my house. So,
Yeah.
and I love where I live. I just wanted to
Oh,
do
that's the
the,
other thing. She got her house decorated without even being home. She paid somebody to come and decorate her house while we were
yeah,
gone.
because I did it. I'm
So
a,
now she goes home and all the lights are up and
yes.
everything. So
But that's
yeah.
the thing you want. You want to live a life where you do what you want to do, and you don't have to do, and you can pay someone else to do things you don't want to do that maybe they are better at and do anything. She said, "Can I join you in your car? I see an empty seat." But
Yeah, I have a 4 empty
yeah,
seats.
we
Or
got four.
there's some luggage in the back.
Jump
But
on
yeah.
in. But I will say you'll do what you want to do, and then people that you may not like to do it, but there are people that love to do it. You know, like I don't like doing laundry, but there are people that will do it all day, and they love. You like doing laundry, right?
I like doing
She
laundry.
weirdo. So she loves doing laundry, and she
Yeah.
will do it all day, and she'll hang it out.
It's a very cleansing experience.
Not for me. So
It's my meditation time. It's cleansing. I feel like
but
I
you
don't know,
have
it's
your
uplifting.
whereas me is I love to go into a house that's completely destroyed, like shit everywhere, and I love to organize. To me, that's a cleansing experience. To go in and like get people's houses, like you go into those like quarter depression houses. Those are my favorite.
Real estate, you see a lot of those.
Magical real estate bus. Yeah. So what you can find, yeah, with revenue, you can get people to fix your problems. You don't want to cut the lawn, pay somebody else to do it. You don't want to clean your pool floors, pay someone else to do it. You start doing those things, and then you focus on what you love, which again helps with the alignment, because you're constantly doing things you want to love. Now, do I always not ever do things I don't love? No, I still do a lot of things I don't love, but it's a lot less than what I had to do on my own. But you're going to build there. So if you're not there yet, you're like, Liz, you're talking dreams. That dream becomes out, just takes you taking action and believing it. We're going to pay and you get your homework. Remember, your homework is to choose your strategy and come back into the group. We're on the free version of the day. The link is in the chat. Click that. Come join us for the rest of the week. We will be talking real estate. We'll be talking lifestyle. We'll be talking living life on your own terms and things like that. Okay.
So every day, the rest of the week, like Liz said, you can go back to the landing page, or if you sign up today from the free version, there is the agenda there. But the way we're breaking it down this week is literally step by step of what you need to do to build up your business. So, from choosing the right area, and then we're going to talk about getting leads, or what to do with the leads, how you market, how you approach some of the new ways to looking at marketing, because things are shifting. Then we're going to talk about contracts, what to write on the contracts, how to market the properties. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about system, how to set it up in a system where it can basically run itself mostly, right?
Yeah.
So every day is going to be broken down. I'm also going to bring somebody here as a guest on Wednesday or Thursday. She has been working with me for over 15 years. And by the way, I don't have said in the beginning, but I am my accent. I'm originally from Italy. That's where I grew up near Venice. And she also happens to be from Italy. It's a total coincidence. We're both full-blood Italian, grew up there, went
Both
to
have
school there.
accents.
Both have accents.
Both talk a lot.
Both talk a lot and fast.
And elaborate.
But she's fast.
She's faster.
Yeah, faster.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're both going to be there on Wednesday. So we're going to give you a ton of information, talk super fast. But the thing is, you're going to get a lot of information here from women that, like you, we're there at some point. And but we had a vision, we saw the possibility, and we want to share with you how we built our business. So I'm looking forward to spending time with you all week long. And I know there was a lot we shared with you today about mindset, about strategies.
We covered a lot in an
I
hour.
know.
We usually take about an hour and a half for those.
No, so you might want to re-listen, but
Yeah.
so now we'll see you tomorrow.
And my sister texted me because she's on the live, because she's one of our assistants. It's a family-owned business, and she's like, "Is your son actually with you?" He's here.
Yeah.
He's hiding, but he's here. Say hi, Hunter. So here's my why. My biggest why right here. He was the reason I got into real estate so that he could live a much better life. I mean, I had a good life as a kid. We traveled, but I wanted to make sure that he had just as fantastic of a life and be able to enjoy his time. And we
There's
just
the
got back
Christmas
from
tree on the
yeah, my Christmas tree from the room. But we did the Disney Christmas cruise, and he just that's why. And that's what I want. I want to see your whys. I want to see your family and your pictures. That's why I have you introduce yourself, because will come down to it. And if you come to your why and you really realize what it is, feel free to share it. It might inspire the other ladies here too. Italian food. We just need to get us all on a bus,
Yes.
talk real estate, and go eat Italian food, because we're covering all, and look at people's houses that leave the windows open.
Yeah.
So now you know, close your blinds
Yeah,
if you don't want people living in your house.
and we have a special thing for it's only for the students. So by the beginning of next month, actually,
Yeah.
you can come and spend the weekend with us in Fort Lauderdale. So if any of you decide to become a student, we're gonna talk more about this as the week progresses. But we have a special thing that I threw together for 2 days where you can come and spend with us 2 full days to work on the new year, set your mindset, get mastermind about real estate. It's gonna be a lot of fun. First time I do it like this. If we have success, then maybe I told them we're gonna do next time on a cruise ship. I would like guys to go on a cruise ship with us for 5 days.
We did it once.
Yeah.
For 2020. Literally got back
gosh.
Friday before they
2
shut
days
down
before
everything.
they shut down for COVID.
But
Yeah.
we did it once, and we had women come on a cruise with us, and it was so much fun. I mean, what was funny though is they were like, "Do we have to meet for real estate?
I
That's why
know,
you're
it was
here."
so funny.
They just wanted
It
to
was
live.
like they didn't want to meet for real estate. They just wanted to dilly dally all day. So it was like it was fun. But anyway.
But don't worry, I see your questions. We will answer a lot of this week. If it's not covered in this week's topics, we do answer it as a student.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this week is a high overview. We're, as you can see, we're going to give a lot of information out, and we want to keep this as streamlined as possible. That way you don't feel as overwhelmed. All right. Well, we're going to close down and get back on the road. We have a student call at 12, so we're going to get on the road. We should be back right before them.
Yeah.
Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Reminder, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern on the dot. We will be live, so make sure you get on, because we start throwing out info as soon as we get on. Sound good? I love it. I love seeing the comments. I'll come back and reread them all as well throughout the day. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.